Good morning, students. In the last class, we had solved up till question number 6 of the examination question paper, previous year examination question paper, right? And then in continuation with that, today let us solve few of the questions. First is the question number 7a. With the help of block diagram, explain the working of telemetering system. This is asked for 5 marks in examination. With the help of block diagram, explain the working of telemetering system. So this telemetering system consists of various blocks such as measurand. The first block is measurand, primary indicator, transmitter, channel, receiver, end device. So these are the various blocks of the telemetering system. Let us see the functions of each of these blocks. Measurand is the input signal that we are applying. That is the measurand. Whatever the signal has to be transmitted, right, that is applied to the indicator. The primary indicator converts the physical signal into electrical signal. So physical signal is converted into electrical signal by the primary indicator and it is applied to the transmitter. The transmitter transmits the signal, that is electrical signal, through the channel. Channel may be a radio channel, right, wireless channel, or it may be a telephonic channel, right. So there may be two types of communication. One is through the wired communication, another one may be the wireless communication. So with the help of the channel, the signal is received at the receiving end. So at the receiving end there is a end device. This end device converts the electrical signal back to physical signal. So like this, the different blocks of the telemetering system function in order to transmit the signal that we want to transmit from the transmitting end to the receiving end. The block diagram carries 2 marks and the working explanation carries 3 marks. Total it is 5 marks question. Question number 7b. Explain briefly the amplitude modulation and frequency modulation. It is asked for 6 marks. Explain briefly the amplitude modulation and frequency modulation. These are the various signals. Draw the figure of the various signals. Figure A shows the AF signal or the audio signal. It is the information signal. Figure B is the carrier signal. Then C is the modulated wave. Let us try to understand what is amplitude modulation. Amplitude modulation is defined as the carrier signal which modulates that is the amplitude of the carrier signal modulates the information signal. That is, here if we want to transmit only the information signal, it is not possible. So the information signal is mixed along with the carrier signal and then transmitted to the receiving end. So this process we call it as modulation. Fine. Next, amplitude modulation. Amplitude modulation means amplitude of the carrier signal, amplitude of this signal is varied in accordance with the amplitude of the information signal. This we call it as amplitude modulation. So this is the amplitude modulated wave, the resultant wave or the end wave, what we are getting after mixing the audio signal with the carrier signal. That is a modulated wave. So this modulated wave has the frequency same as that of the carrier signal. The frequency has not changed. The frequency of the modulated wave remains the same as the frequency of the carrier signal. Next is their disadvantages. What are the disadvantages of or the limitations of the amplitude modulation? The limitations are they have poor efficiency, poor quality, and they are interrupted by noise. So these are the 3 deficiencies or the deficits or the disadvantages of the amplitude modulation: poor efficiency, poor quality, and noisy receiving. So to overcome these disadvantages, we go for the next higher version of the modulation, that is frequency modulation. In the frequency modulation, the frequency of the carrier signal is varied in accordance with the frequency of the information signal. Frequency of the carrier signal is varied in accordance with the frequency of the information signal. Right? This process we call it as frequency modulation. In the modulated wave, FM wave or the frequency modulated wave, the amplitude of the signal, the amplitude of the FM wave, modulated wave, is same as the amplitude of the carrier wave. The amplitude we are not changing, only the frequency of the carrier wave is changed in accordance with the frequency of the information signal or frequency of the audio signal, modulating signal. Okay, so this is called as the frequency modulation. What were the disadvantages in the amplitude modulation? Those disadvantages are eliminated in the frequency modulation. So these disadvantages were, that is poor audio quality, low efficiency and noisy reception. So these disadvantages are eliminated here. So in the frequency modulation technique we have better audio quality, high efficiency and noiseless reception. Fine. So hope you are following, students, here. Okay. Next question. Question number 7C. What is modem? Explain with interfacing block diagram. What is modem? Everybody have heard about the modem, right? So modem is nothing but modulator demodulator. The full form of modem is modulator demodulator. This is the block diagram of the modem, or the interfacing block diagram of the modem. We have the interfacing circuits here, interface circuits, right? So these interface circuits are applied with the power supply. They are powered from the power supply. Then power supply is also applied to the filters and input amplifiers here. So there are two parts here. One is the modulator part, another one is the demodulator part. In the modulator part we have the interface circuits, modulator circuits, filter and output amplifiers. Fine. Then in the demodulator part we have filter and amplifiers, filter and input amplifiers, demodulator circuits and interface circuits. To control the timing and the other blocks, that is the modulator and demodulator blocks, we have the control and timing block also here. Okay, so the control and timing block is used to control and maintain the timing of the modulator and demodulator and the power supply blocks. Okay, control the timing of the modulator and demodulator blocks here, right? Now what are the functions of these blocks? Functions of these blocks are the input signal, that is the DC pulses, are applied to the interface circuits. Interface circuit, that is the input circuit. So this interface circuit applies the pulses, right? It interfaces it to the modulator circuit. Modulator is an important part, so it performs the modulation. Either it may be amplitude modulation or frequency modulation, right? So it modulates the signal and sends it to the filter and output amplifier. Filter and output amplifier filters the signal, it amplifies and transmits it. So we are getting the analog signal here. Analog signals are transmitted from the filter and output amplifier block, right? These analog signals are again applied to the filter and input amplifier here. Filter and input amplifier in the demodulator section. So it filters, it removes the noise signal and the unwanted signals from the received signal. It amplifies that and applies it to the demodulator circuit. Demodulator is a block which separates the information signal from the carrier signal. Demodulator block which separates the information signal from the carrier signal. So this, after separation, it sends the information signal to the interface circuit. Interface circuit transmits the pulses or the information pulses to the computer terminals. So this is the working of the block diagram of the modem, modulator, demodulator. This carries 5 marks. Drawing the block diagram carries 2 marks and explanation carries 3 marks. Total it is 5 marks question. Next. Question number 8A. Explain inductance type pressure transducers. Explain inductance type pressure transducers. When it is inductance, so here they are making use of the LVDT. LVDT we have already studied. So it is linear variable differential transformer. So this is LVDT here. So LVDT, core of the LVDT is connected to the input, right? Pressure is applied to this bellows arrangement. From the bellows, the core moves. When the core moves, it links the primary flux with the two secondary coils, So when it links here, the voltage induced in secondary 1 coil and secondary coil 2 will be different. The net output voltage will be the difference between the two output voltages, difference between the two output voltages. Okay, so this output voltage provides the how much is the pressure input that is applied to the bellows, how much pressure we have applied to the bellows. So that can be measured by measuring the net output voltage. This is the LVDT type inductance transducer. The second one, as you can see here in this figure, there is a tube. On the tube the coil is wound. So to increase the sensitivity, the coil is split up into two parts here, right? Two sections. The AC input voltage is applied to the coil. So when the AC input voltage is applied to the coil, and when the core is moved inside this tube, the flux linking changes, and when the flux linking changes, the inductance also changes. Inductance of the coil changes according to the relation E is equal to L into di by dt. That is, EMF is proportional to the inductance, and it is also proportional to the rate of change of current. So as the voltage changes, as the induced EMF changes, the inductance of the coil changes. When the inductance of the coil changes, the current also changes. This current is measured indirectly to measure how much is the pressure applied to this core. So like this, we can use these inductance type transducers to measure the pressure applied. This carries 4 marks, right? 2 marks for the figures and 2 marks for the explanation. Total it is 4 marks question. Question number 8b. Define the terms here: atmospheric pressure, gauge pressure, absolute pressure, static pressure, and total pressure. First one, atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure is the normal pressure exerted by the atmospheric air, right? It is a normal pressure exerted by the normal air on the surfaces. So atmospheric pressure is normal pressure exerted upon all surfaces with which it is in contact by the atmospheric air. This is called as the atmospheric pressure. Second, gauge pressure. Gauge pressure is the pressure measured by the instrument considering the atmospheric pressure as the datum. Gauge pressure is the pressure measured with the help of pressure measuring instrument considering the atmospheric pressure as the datum. Absolute pressure. Absolute pressure is the sum of atmospheric pressure and the gauge pressure. Absolute pressure is the sum of atmospheric pressure and the gauge pressure. So absolute pressure is equal to atmospheric pressure plus gauge pressure. So I have shown in this figure here, this is gauge pressure and this is the reference, that is atmospheric pressure. So atmospheric pressure plus gauge pressure, that will give the total pressure or the absolute pressure here. Absolute pressure is equal to gauge pressure plus atmospheric pressure. Next term, static pressure. Static pressure is defined as the force per unit area acting on the wall by a fluid at rest. If the fluid is at rest, how much pressure the fluid exerts on the walls, that is nothing but the static pressure. Then dynamic pressure. Dynamic pressure is the pressure exerted or the force per unit area exerted on the walls by the moving fluid, by the flowing fluid. Dynamic pressure is given by the formula V square by 2G, where V is the velocity of fluid flow. Total pressure is static pressure plus dynamic pressure. The total pressure is PS plus V square by 2G. So PT is the total pressure, PS is the static pressure. So like this we can measure the various pressures. These are the various parameters for the pressure, that is atmospheric pressure, gauge pressure, absolute pressure, static pressure, and total pressure. So total pressure is finally static pressure plus dynamic pressure. Question number 8c. Give the construction and working of a hot filament gauge. List its advantages and disadvantages. This is the hot filament gauge. Here we have the hot body. This is the eye lens which converges the light onto the lamp. From the lamp it is focused onto the eyepiece. It is focused onto the eyepiece here, right? So by finding the current in the filament, we will be able to measure, right? We will be able to measure the temperature of the hot body. Okay. So here let us see its working here. Initially the filament has lesser temperature than the surrounding temperature, so it appears dark here. Fine. So hope you are following, students, right? And so initially what is done here, the filament temperature is less than the surrounding temperature, so it appears dark. Later when the temperature is increased, later when the temperature of the filament is increased by adjusting the resistance, so its temperature increases, it becomes hot, it becomes hot as becomes hot as that of the surrounding temperature, so it appears to disappear, right? So and when it disappears, then next again the resistance is varied to change the temperature of the filament, so it appears more hot than the surrounding temperature, right? So these are the three conditions here. So based on these three conditions, we will be getting the current in the lamp, so that we can measure by measuring the current using the ammeter, we can measure the temperature of the hot body. So this is the hot filament gauge, right? Next we'll see its advantages and disadvantages. Advantages: excellent accuracy, it has good accuracy. Then no direct contact with the object is essential, so there may not be any direct contact with the object. Then measurement is independent of the distance between target and the measuring instrument. Whatever may be the distance between the object whose temperature we are measuring and the instrument, irrespective of that we can perform the measurement. It has few disadvantages also. It can measure the temperature only up till 700 degrees Celsius and it cannot be used for continuous reading. These are the disadvantages. Fine, students. So in today's class we have covered few questions, right? So these few questions are, one was on the, that is telemetering system block diagram, then modulation, that is amplitude modulation and frequency modulation. Then later what is modem, explain the interfacing block diagram of the modem. Then question number 8 was on the pressure transducers, inductance type pressure transducers. Then various types of definitions we took up, we defined various terms. Then the last question was on the, that is filament gauge, hot filament gauge, its advantages and disadvantages. I hope everybody have understood, students. So if there are any doubts, send your doubts to me. I will clear your doubts. Thank you.